Oh no, you've made it live.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yes. So we're here live today, episode 25 of
Wow.
Quarantine TV. Where
Amazing.
does the time go when you're locked up? So, welcome, Suzy.
Thank you for having me. We're already laughing. How joyful is that?
We're already laughing, and thank you so much for agreeing to be here.
Oh, it's a delight. It's brilliant.
So I came across you as somebody who's facilitating laughter yoga on Zoom.
Yeah.
And naturally assumed that that's everything you do.
Isn't that amazing? So often we can just go, that's what that person does.
Yeah.
And yet
they are in the laughter yoga box. And then I was aware of your Facebook group, Suzy's tax return journey.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Thank you. Yeah. I'd love to know what you think it's about, because I'm still working it out myself. But yeah.
It's about trying to get some order in your life and trying to get some accountability.
I think, well, there's a bigger story which maybe we can look at a bit later about what it is, because it runs it seems fairly frivolous, but actually there's a real depth to it as well. So okay. Happy to talk about that more.
I'll look forward to that. So then, when we were talking about you coming on here, you sent me this film about your work, which actually made me cry.
Oh.
Yeah, because
which one are you talking about? Which film are you talking
about? The work that you do as the Giggle Doctor, and through, see, I've got notes here, Ladder to the Moon.
Yeah.
And the Musical Matinee Club.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you bring joy and connection to people through dressing up and getting into character and just allowing people to be themselves, because obviously when children are in hospital and when people with dementia are in care homes, they lose that spark of themselves because life isn't wonderful for them.
And I think it's really interesting because it's talking about coming back to yourself, because a lot of what I realize that I'm doing is very, very odd. It's very, very out there. It's not quite, it's very, very abnormal what I'm proposing. But somehow by the fact of saying, let's do something big, let's do something really out there, then you can come back to return to this part of you that is joyful. It's the child. It's giving. It's everything I'm doing is really about opening up permission to play.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Me too.
And I dressed up today. Normally I wear like a black top, no lipstick.
I love that. I'm wishing I had, but you know,
the dressing room is just next door, so
yeah, we might go there.
Yeah. I loved what you said about parents of children in hospital really loving the fact that you help them to see their children again.
Yeah, it's a really incredible thing when somebody. Yeah, it's a total privilege. I'm sure you can imagine going into a space where there's a child who's really not quite themselves, and then being able to go in with something odd, because when I'm a Giggle Doctor, I look very, very strange. So I go in, haha, and there's all it is there's a possibility that something might happen, and we never know what it's going to be. And so maybe it's going to be very, very silly and involve lots of slapstick, or maybe it's a song, or maybe, you know, if it's somebody older, maybe it's a sort of like a sarcastic chat. It doesn't really matter. But what happens is then they start to come out of themselves, and it's particularly with the younger kids, and they start to just really laugh and laugh and laugh. And then parents will say like, oh, it's my boy.
Nice.
And you know, children laugh. Well, I think there's some statistic they laugh like between 200 and 400 times a day. Whereas, you know, when you're ill, it's just not the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yes.
So when they get them to see their child being playful again, they're like, wow, there he is. I haven't seen him for 4 days, which is a long time for a child not to laugh.
Yes, it is. because they're like 800 laughs down
Yeah.
then it's really hard to get back to that place.
Yeah. So it's
And of
just
course,
opening a door, really.
yes, and of course it is Mental Health Awareness Week this
Yeah.
week, and there are so many facets to that, to mental wellness.
But do you know what's really, it's so interesting, I think that it's Mental Health Awareness Week, because I was thinking this lockdown has become mental health awareness time. Like,
Yeah,
this is the time when I've had so many conversations with people that have been more and more honest about people saying, I'm not okay.
yeah,
And that for me is really one of the great things about the lockdown, that we're
yeah,
speaking about it more. The
yeah,
more we know and understand, ah, wow, I'm not alone in this.
yes,
Hearing other people's strategies for pulling themselves out. Because
yeah.
actually, my tax return journey was a strategy for pulling myself out of a dark place.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I agree with you. It's so important that we're talking about it. And I love that it's being talked about more and more.
Yeah. And that was why I joined your laughter yoga class, because I wasn't okay.
Okay,
I
really?
had a really hard time, so I joined your laughter yoga class. And then actually that week, I had a conversation with a friend who's stuck in Thailand. And he
Mm.
was talking about how he's structured his day to make this time work for him.
Uh-huh.
And I found it really helpful and said, could we do this live on Facebook tomorrow? And then I've been just doing them more or less daily since, actually.
I love that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's really, I love it because I get a lot out of it. And I know from the messages that I get and from the comments that other people do as well.
Mm.
And
I think,
actually, yeah, go on.
well, I was just going to say, isn't it great that each one of us is finding our way during this lockdown for how it works for me and
Yeah,
how it works for you? Because I think for me to have a conversation on a camera with somebody for an hour or so every day, that would be too tiring for me.
yeah,
For you, it's really feeding you.
yeah. That's
And
what
I
I
love
do. What I do is like hang out with people and ask them questions.
brilliant.
Yeah, and network. That's what I do. I'm a networker. I bring people together and I create community.
Yeah.
And you know that's why lockdown was initially really challenging for me.
Yeah, I can really feel that. Like for me, even only yesterday, I suddenly I was on a group Zoom, and somebody in the group shared. It was a group of people who I know, and somebody in the group shared, I just feel an immense sadness to see you all
Yeah,
because I'm not with you.
yeah,
And it was only in that moment that she said that. I was like, I have to go out. I have to go to a shop.
yeah,
I don't. There's nothing I need right now. But I'm just going to go and buy some olive oil because well, surely we always need olive oil. And I just had this hunger. I didn't even care what I said to this person, but I needed to speak to somebody.
yeah.
That's
Face
not
to face,
everyone. Yeah, face to face.
not on a screen.
No, exactly.
Yeah, and I think yeah, we've all had so much screen time and so little time with people. It's really quite taxing.
Yeah, it's a lot for the brain to take in, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Even in the moment, let alone when we think about the past and the future.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, actually, when you were talking about being a giggle doctor, I remembered that when I was a teenager, I volunteered in a children's ward
How did
being
you?
a play helper,
Hmm.
which is the same sort of thing.
Yeah, it's in the same realm, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you would have had moments where you get a chance to be, like we really, the NHS staff are really getting the applause they need right now. But one of the things is that very often they don't have the time that they would like to spend to just really sit and be with the
yes,
child. So that's what the play
yeah,
team come in and do that and can really tap into what is it that this particular child needs and wants. And then they
yeah,
can put some of that back to the nursing staff. But it's like someone who's there particularly to look after the spirit of the child.
yeah.
How long did you do that for?
Um, I probably did it for a year for my Duke of Edinburgh award, I think.
Ah, that's interesting for my Duke of Edinburgh award, and I think it's really really pivotal time at that time in our lives because I
Yeah,
worked at the cottage hospital at the end of our road. And I suppose because it was back then where there was less formality about what someone could or couldn't do, I was being asked to shave people. I remember shaving this elderly man, age 16, and feeding somebody their dinner. And I remember very, very strongly playing cards with a lady who had a box, like a little margarine tub that said sputum on the top, and over the whole way through she'd be like, and really, going home and writing a play about it, because theatre was really what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then thinking, wow, look at what I do now. What I do now is I work with those people wanting to bring life out of them.
Yes. And you don't, in your normal life, you don't think about what people in healthcare actually deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Goodness, they deal with so much. There's a lot.
I find it enough clearing up after myself, let alone,
Well, I've seen you're also occasionally clearing up after your grandchildren, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. And them.
Just another story.
Yeah, hats off to them.
Yeah.
To all the carers, all the caring professions.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, it's a lot of work for the body, but also for the emotionally. I suppose I worry about that, the impact. I know the impact it's had on me over like 15 years of working in hospitals and the amount of care I've had to take of myself.
Yeah.
Which is how I realised I've come on such a big personal development journey, because I've had to, because I've gone through massive exhaustion and real burnout, and that's because of that. The hospital environment is really intense.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's not something I could do. I'm much too selfish to do that sort of work. And I think people who do that sort of work should be much more rewarded in many ways. Financially and socially. I think that has been really highlighted.
I think it has. Who knows what will change, or if anything, in these coming months or years. But I think there's definitely that recognition, and from a friend of mine who's a nurse, she came to doing the job because she loves the job.
Yes,
she wants to do it.
Yeah,
against all of the odds of the things that are against her, the reward still comes.
Yeah,
when she can make somebody's day slightly better, and that's it, isn't it?
And that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, and it's what you're doing. We're all just looking for the ways that we can feel good in helping others to feel good. It feels, doesn't it?
Yes. I was just reading a comment from Susan about her son doing the Prince's Trust. I'll get back to you about that, Susan, because my brother works with Prince Charles on the Prince's Trust. Yeah.
So you've got comments coming in right now as well, have you?
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. Thank you, Claire, for sharing and being here for a little while, enjoying listening to you and Suzy Harvey.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
And hello, lovelies, from Sandra. Lots of comments. They're just disappearing. I can't see them all. So your work with the Musical Matinee Club and Ladder to Dreams. I love the sound of this work.
So shall I just tell you about how that started, how that came about?
Please.
Because it started because 15 years ago I became a giggle doctor, working in children's hospitals, and that was really almost felt like the beginning of my career, the beginning of my life. I wanted to be an actor, and I was doing all that kind of that sort of thing, and then it was very serious, and then I thought, no, I want to do something fun, and then shifted into the hospital work. And then I found out about this company called Ladder to the Moon, which used to be a theatre company where we were making theatre in places where there wasn't theatre. So that could be a car park or a railway platform or a hospital. And they were doing something working in a children's hospital. And I was like, oh, I'm already doing a bit of that, so I'll do some more of that. And then little by little, this shifted. The work that we did shifted. So from there, we went on and we were doing interactive Shakespeare in in care homes. So the idea is, we would do the Tempest, and we'd have all of the props and costumes, we'd have everyone in a circle, and we'd say, okay, you're Prospero, and you're the king, and you're the queen, and we're going to feed you what your lines are, and you're going to play it out. And it was really lovely. There's something lovely about Shakespeare that's not, it's not patronizing at all. It's, it's gritty, it's real, but it was very, very playful. And there were several moments where, staff were always very busy. So they were, they would be like, you carry on. But there would always be one or two staff members watching. And I remember this one time where there was a lady who was the queen. And I was saying, and now you fall asleep. And I just did this with my hands, and she went with her head, as if I am acting out falling asleep. And afterwards, one of the carers said, that's amazing. She never responds to an instruction. She's never in the same, what you say, never in the same room as the rest of us. But, so what did you do? How did you do it? And we didn't really know what we did or how we did it. But one of the things we realized was that there's something about the magic of theatre and the playfulness that can kind of tap into something. But also, we were going in because we didn't know these people, so we didn't know anything about what they couldn't do. So we went in with an assumption that they can, which is a lot easier when you don't know someone. Like the moment you know anything about someone, you go, oh, well, she won't do it. Yeah. Either because they're very negative, or they'll or you think, well, I know she probably won't understand, and that's a great shame. There's whatever attitude attached to it. So little by little, we shifted into becoming a company that used playfulness as a way to train staff to be playful and creative with their residents. So we were remaking old films. So we were doing South Pacific and Sound of Music. And, looking at the sort of edgy bits, and getting people in coconut bras and flower garlands and saying, okay, so we're going to dress up. It's South Pacific. Go and tell everyone. And I remember this one time we had two guys from maybe it was a guy from the kitchen and a guy from the maintenance team, just like, we're going to dress up as bananas.
I saw that photograph.
You saw that picture, yeah. And just have the playfulness of the staff opening up something in the residents for them to go, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And from that playfulness, looking at it looked at one level it looked like a show, but then from there on we were saying, but let's look deeper about, now that we've opened up something, what can we do to make this person's day better tomorrow? Did we discover that she enjoyed the touch of the velvet? Yes. Of the fabric of the costume you gave her? Did she enjoy crinkling the tissue paper? It doesn't have to be big. Did she enjoy telling everybody what to do and saying action? Yeah. Does she want that kind of role? And how are we going to give that opportunity every day in their life? Because that's that's what's going to light them up.
Yes, a sense of purpose.
Yeah. And being recognised.
Yes.
And so that's the work that's been going on with Ladder to the Moon for quite some time.
Wow.
And that then shifted because I was doing that work. Somebody said to me, well, you seem to be an expert at working creatively with people living with dementia. These things have happened by accident that I didn't know that I was an expert in that. And then somebody said, will you host some screenings of dementia-friendly screenings of some films? And I was thinking, so I just sort of applied the same kind of thing, looking at a film, going, where would be the opportunities for play here? Where would be the opportunities to dress up? And instead of doing it for a room of 20 people, let's do it for a room of 100 or 200 people, and everybody something to wave or something to wear. And so they started out as dementia-friendly screenings, but little by little, we realized that's not fair, because there are lots of people, there were younger people with special educational needs coming, and they were really enjoying them. And then there were some people who were retired, who don't have dementia but love to have fun. We say, well, why shouldn't you be able to come? So that's why I changed the name to Everybody Friendly Screenings.
Nice.
Because I really want them to be. They want them to be for everybody, and
I
then
love that. Everybody friendly.
yeah,
That's a
you get
really
to
good
see.
term.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it sort of sums up what's important to me,
Yeah.
like being included and
Yes.
everybody feeling like they have their place
Yeah.
is lovely.
Yeah. It's really important, and I think that's for a lot of people that has been something that's missing during this past few months. That
Mm,
having their place in society,
mm.
having our place in society. Like, who am I without my place in my society? Who am I without people to interact with daily?
And also the idea of it like identity, but for so much of, I really get this for me as well, that who am I and what am I without the job that I do,
Yeah,
because that used to be, the classic thing, people saying, what do you do?
yes,
And we all hate that type. We hate that question, but it
yeah,
does. So like you said, when you saw me, you put me in a box. That
yeah.
what do you do?
In
Laughter yoga.
the laughter yoga box.
And then
Yes,
it's like, but what am I if I'm not that?
yes,
What am I if I am not any of these things?
yeah,
And it's all quite a spiritual experience, isn't it?
yeah, it is. And that's not always fun.
Oh, terrifying.
Spirit,
Terrifying having to have a good old look at yourself, isn't it?
spiritual growth is pain. Yeah, who wants to look inside when you can go shopping, meet your friends, go to a restaurant, go dancing, go to festivals?
Yeah,
All that gone.
yeah.
Only
Isn't there that?
temporarily. Only temporarily.
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to think of that the thing that they say about the butterfly. That so the butterfly starts out as its caterpillar and then it goes into the cocoon, but you don't hear the screams that go on inside that cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly. You don't know
Yeah.
how painful it's been or how much of it has had to happen before that emergence. You just see, oh wow, they've emerged.
And I often wonder, who are we going to be when we come out?
Hmm.
Who will we be at the festivals next summer?
The festivals are big for you, right?
Festivals are massive for me. I would have been going to 4 this summer. Yeah.
And let me ask you, because I like festivals, but I've only been going to them for a few years because despite loving life as I do, I hate camping. I
Oh,
hate it. I just can't bear it.
okay.
So they're new experiences for me. Because I've been going, like I went to one where I was able to stay in a house, and
Nice.
that changed it for me. I went to Colourfest and I could stay in Gaunt's house, and there was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was like being in first class.
Yes. I've been to Gordon's House Summer Gathering many times when my children were
Okay,
little. Yeah.
yeah. But how are you with camping? Because you seem very glamorous
I
and
was
like,
I was brought up with camping. That was how we had our holidays.
okay.
When I was growing up, we may have. Sandra says you need a van. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what we did. Yeah,
Did
so
you?
that's made it better. We got a what do you call it? A mobile thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Like a
yeah,
camper van.
yes, yeah. It just it changed everything. It's,
Um, I've lived in a tent. I've lived in a teepee. I've lived in a caravan. Um, yeah,
wow,
I'm quite good at that stuff. I've lived in a van with 3 kids.
wow.
I am quite good at that.
I don't have a hat right now, so I mime it. I'm taking it off to you. You've got a hat.
I've got a selection of hats.
Why have you got that hat?
Why have I got so many hats?
Why have you got that particular hat?
This one, well, my mum gave me some birthday money last year, the year before, and I was at Shambhala Festival,
Yeah.
and I just couldn't resist it. She
How
was
much?
like, "What? You spent all your birthday money on one hat?" I was like, "Yeah, but what a hat!
What a hat? How much call have you had to wear it?
Not enough."
Well, I'm glad to give you the opportunity to wear it right
Yeah,
now.
and that's what I think after lockdown. Will we all be a little bit less reserved?
I don't know. In one way, I'm really interested in knowing when we will feel confident to embrace one another. Like one of the things that I used to do, I used to hug strangers all the time. And that feels so far away right now.
Yes.
So I might be reserved in the warmth of my heart, or people might be more like, how are you? Because I recognize you've been through this experience like me. But when will we be able to say, let's have a hug?
Yes. And when will we be able to stand in a large crowd?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, the other day we were doing in laughter yoga. We were doing we went to the carnival at the Rio de Janeiro carnival, and one of the things that I like to do is like to look at the joyful things, but like to look at like the mundane things as well. So so just to explain in laughter yoga, what I do is I sort of play out a narrative, and we just add laughter on every little thing. But I was saying, like, let's look at getting on the plane, because that's one of the experiences. So let's first of all acknowledge I am sat next to someone who I don't know, and be just like that. And I was thinking, I really need to laugh about that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so intense that we used to sit right next to strangers
Yeah.
and sleep next to them for 8 hours on a long haul flight.
I've woken up. I've woken up on a long haul flight having a stranger nudging me with his elbow because I've got my head on his shoulder and I'm snoring and dribbling.
Yeah, you really get to know someone, don't you? You know that lovely moment where you end up where you're like that. When you try to climb over someone and you're just like, wake up and you're just there in their face. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me a couple of times.
My brother lives in Los Angeles, so that's happened to me a lot of times. Yeah, and I'm
happy memories.
I am the person who will stand on the handrests.
Yes.
Out rather than everyone moving.
Yeah. Well, when it's a long flight, eventually they get to know that you're that kind of person, don't they?
Yeah, Sandra thinks I need to wear that hat.
Again.
So
Sandra wants you to put the hat back on.
Yeah. So I find it very confusing with everything in reverse. It's a bit like life at the moment, actually. So I feel ridiculous.
You look fabulous.
Thanks. So laughter yoga.
Yeah.
So lockdown happened. Obviously, all of your work suddenly stopped.
Yeah. So it was amazing because now let's see, 12th of March, I was hosting one of my everybody friendly screenings of Brigadoon. So we were, and that was down in Bexhill at the wonderful Delaware Pavilion. And we were wondering, will anybody come? Because obviously our audience are in the vulnerable category, and there was just a sort of edge of, should people be going out? But it wasn't.
Yes.
You mustn't.
Yes.
So I had this epic, wonderful adventure. Because we made everybody reindeer at antlers and everybody wearing tartan, a real joyful experience watching the film. And then I came back home, and the emails had been trickling in saying, well, of course you work in a hospital, of course you're not going to be allowed in there, of course your audience are going to be stuck in home. So I got really excited, first of all, thinking, wow, great, I'm going to do nothing. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to have a really tidy place.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. I was thinking I'm going to read. And then I woke up on the Sunday morning, so that's just a few days later. And then I just remembered that 9 years ago I trained to teach laughter yoga, and I didn't teach it when I trained in it very much, basically because nobody really wanted it. I,
Yes.
I was doing it when I was working with kids in the hospital. You know, like it's more fun to like play with, like laughter being infectious, you know, so
Yeah.
they laugh at something, I laugh, and then eventually we don't know why we're laughing, but we just are. So I was doing it, but I wasn't doing a formal class.
Yes.
And even on that Sunday, I posted on. I made a post on Facebook in a local community group, and somebody. It was my first trolling experience, where somebody said, "Is the world this sad that we
Oh.
need someone to facilitate us to be happy?"
Oh.
And I was like, huh, I guess, I don't know, maybe she's not really, you know, slamming down on me, but it felt a little bit like, and, you
Yeah.
know, so I wrote, you know, yeah, this was created in 1995, and it has been created because, yes, we do need it.
Yeah.
We need ways to keep us alight and keep our bodies feeling alive, our souls alive. Um, so I just thought I'll try it for a week, and then now I'm in week 10. So the same as you with your interviews, like it just grew little by little, and it's been a complicated journey, I suppose.
Yeah.
Uh, really interesting because I'm working from home every day, and I used to be with my wheelie bag going everywhere, somewhere different, a heavy bag filled
Yes.
with costumes and props.
Yeah.
Um, and I realized that I was always taking the party or somewhere else.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the party was in my home.
Yeah.
And that was, it was intense. There was no travel time,
Yes.
no putting on of a costume and taking it off, which is a big part of what I was used to. And
Yeah. That's a big
so,
part of performance, isn't it? The preparation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also for my partner, he is used to seeing the mess when I pack up and the mess when I get home and empty my bag.
Yeah.
Not used to the party being in our home,
Yeah.
and it felt really invasive for that
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
How are we going to manage our life with a party at 10 o'clock for half an hour every day? uh, you know, it was too much.
Yeah.
You know, it was wonderfully enjoyable, but it was also like, how sustainable is it? So we had to really look like,
Yeah.
how are we gonna carve this out?
Yes. Yes. I can really understand that. Yes. It's a massive commitment to be contributing daily.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
But it was also really good for me because it meant probably a few weeks in that I was realizing this is very, very helpful for me to have somewhere I have to be.
Yes.
So it was a gift to myself. I like to think we've got several parts of ourselves, and there's this wise part of myself that was saying, what you need, Suzy, is something that's making you accountable. That's some people who are showing up saying, what you got for us? So you have to get up, you have to have a shower,
Yes.
just simply that, and making me create something every day, whether I feel like it or not.
Absolutely. And that's the same for me. That's
Is
why I
it?
do yoga every morning at 7.
Yeah, are you still
Because,
doing it every morning?
yeah, Monday to Friday, yeah. Have
How's it going?
Yeah, it's great. I have like 5, 6, 7 people.
And is it the same people every time?
There's like a core of the same people, and then some people drop in and out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I know I would stay in bed till 11, and
Mm.
then I would feel depressed.
Yeah. But it's not about laziness, is it? Because I think I've
No,
spoken with a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, I'm just really lazy," and I just don't think laziness actually
no,
exists. It's
not
not lazy.
laziness. It's having a reason. For me, it's having a reason to show up.
Yeah.
I'm showing up for myself, and then showing up for other people.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
Well, there's do you know about the perma wheel?
No.
Is it created by? It's a part of positive psychology. I'm going to just draw it out for you here for a minute. PERMA. So here you've got. It's on the back of a. It's on the back of a bit of scrap paper which says positive. So
I watched your performance last night.
Last night, yes. So basically, this is your wheel.
Yeah.
And these are all of the aspects of your life that's gonna. I hope I get this right. For anyone who knows about this and says no, that's not right. Let me see. But yes. So looking at this is pleasures.
Yeah.
So you're looking at your what are the pleasures in my life? So some of that is chocolate, but that's also seeing friends. All sorts of different ways that you get pleasure in your life. Engagement. How do I when I'm engaged in something? So for me, that might be sort of when I'm really engaged in a task, I'm cutting and sticking, or I'm sewing something. The kind of thing. So making sure that we're managing that, but also relationships. And this doesn't mean do I have a partner?
Yes.
This is more like what are my relationships like with all people, with the postman, the plumber, the people in the shops. How am I relating to other people?
Yeah.
And this one here is M for meaning. And I think this is a big one that I'm talking about. That you've said that made me think about that, because we need meaning is just vital, and this is one of the big reasons why we look at this when we're working with people in care homes, working with older people, because once you stop working, once you don't have to do any of the cooking or any of the cleaning, where is your meaning gone? Where is your reason to get out of bed? And so for some people that would be religion would be a part of that. For some people it might be football. Some people it's the whole thing about my life is I want to be kind, and that gets me out of bed, and and this is the final one, just to wrap up what I'm talking about, is A is achievement. So if you think back to a time when you achieved something massively, you felt something really rush through your body, didn't you? And if we can draw on those memories, that's great. But also, what about when we're older and we're in a care home? There's nothing that we've got to achieve. There's nothing about do the thing you think you can't do, because that's how it feels when you go, I don't think I can do that.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to try. I did it.
Yeah.
And that's when you feel that sense of achievement. So this is what you want. We want this for our whole lives: pleasure, engagement, relationships, meaning, and achievement. It's not just early on. It's our entire life.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense to me. And apart from for a lot of people, the economic hardship at the moment and the fear of economic hardship in the future, I think something that a lot of people are struggling with is that meaning, achievement. The relationships, like for people who are on their own all day, it's a long time to be by yourself. 8 or 10 weeks.
Tough. Really tough. Just the final thing I want to say about this, because so what the way I know is, if you say this is this is 0, it's not going very well in the center, and that's 10. So I might say in terms of relationships, I'm sort of a 5 there. So I think one of the really key things is to say I want it to be 10, but it's only 5 at the moment. And it's not realistic to get it to a 10. It's about getting it to a 5.5. Then a 6. And I don't know I don't know how you feel about this, but patience has been such a massive thing about this lockdown. Saying
absolutely,
it's a slow process, isn't it?
Yes. Patience with the process. Patience with. Yolanda said that was really helpful.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Yolanda.
If you can look it up properly, it's Martin. Well, if you look up Perma Wheel, I'm pretty sure you'll get it. I'm pretty sure it's Martin Seligman.
Lovely. Thank you. And Susan says she's getting less reserved as she gets
Yay.
older.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's why I like to spend time around people who are older.
Yes.
I like to, I love to be people who are willing to say, yeah, let's,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to people's struggle in lockdown, yes, that is uh, lacking in people's lives. And there's, I think for a lot of people, there's a sense of I should be feeling different, I should be doing more, I should be achieving. But
mm,
actually, it's a tough time and there aren't any shoulds.
no, no. They can't be. It's just so unhelpful, isn't it?
Yes. And yeah, the patience, yes. I've had to be patient with the process, with my own views compared to the views of those people who are in power,
Mm.
uh, with
Yeah.
with everything.
Yeah.
Queuing for half an hour to go into Waitrose is a wonderful test of patience.
Gosh. Yeah.
Everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything is different, and everything. And I really admire people who are at home with their children. Like, wow.
Yeah. It's a lot to manage. It's a lot to manage our own needs, isn't it? And,
Yes.
and when there's somebody else's needs, for a younger person who is confused about what's going on,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
Mm.
Um.
I think
So.
that's the thing that
Um.
our nervous systems are really they're being impacted in ways that we don't really know.
mm,
We can't name exactly what's happening,
yes.
but they are everybody's.
Yes. It's also for unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Yes. And I find that doing regular things, whether it's moving a bit more or I just started doing this 100 squats challenge. So I do 100 squats a day.
Wow.
It
How
sounds
many
a
how many
lot.
days have you done?
This is my second.
And that's the beautiful thing. You do one day at a time, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
And it
Are
sounds
you
a lot.
are
And
you
it's not
videoing it?
no, but I could.
Well, isn't there, aren't there people who do like the press up challenge and they
Yeah.
have to make a video of them doing it, and
Yeah,
that's how they.
I
I
could.
think people would love to see that.
I'm sure it'd be hilarious.
In that outfit, we'd like to see it.
Okay, I'll do that
Can we
later.
see some now?
I've
Can we see some now?
some squats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already done some today. Okay. So I've been watching an instructional video.
Yeah.
So it's all about having the.
I just want to see the whole outfit. It's amazing. Wow.
So it's about
Okay.
putting the knees under the knees over the ankles.
Yeah.
It's about pushing the bottom out, and then we can breathe in and bring the arms up in front of us,
Yeah.
and then breathe out and take them out to the side, pushing
Oh.
the bottom towards the wall. Breathing in, coming up.
Oh.
Breathing out. Oh, we've done 3. We've only got 97 to go. I've been watching Janine Newbury, who's this incredible wellness coach.
Okay.
Absolutely so vibrant and inspiring.
Amazing.
A few instructional videos on how to squat.
Wow.
So she does this thing 100 squats in 7 minutes. So I did that this morning before I taught yoga.
Well done, you. I've no hat to take off, but I'm taking another one off. It's like I'm doing a hat burlesque routine, just slowly taking them off. You got another hat there.
Have I got another hat? I've got a boa.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, we'll have that. Nice.
Which I've discovered can also be worn as a sort of. So you can wear a boa, actually, to fix your hair up.
Is this a lockdown discovery?
No, this was actually the last gig I went to before lockdown, which was a drag queen gig. And I live in a very small town, and I went wearing this and the boa. And when I got there, I met one of my friends, and he said, "Are you going on stage tonight, Claire?" And I was like, never am I going on stage in Stroud. That's just not happening.
Okay.
And then about an hour later, I was dancing, and this drag queen came up and took me by the hand, and I was like, "Of course, I'm going on stage."
To be fair, if you're going to wear that in your hair, you're asking for it. You're asking to be dragged on stage, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
I love it.
Adaptable. Susan says, "I don't think we should concentrate on elderly and old age linked to care homes. We are and can be creative, passionate, and vital." Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, my grandma lived until 101, and she lived by herself that whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
she loves my outfit and loves listening to you, Suzy.
Hey, brilliant. Yeah, no, I think a lot of my learning has come from the work that I've been doing with older people, but it's to be applied to us all. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And definitely getting older doesn't mean having to be cared for, but for some people it does.
No. Well, I mean that's a great meaning for a lot of people to be to take care. So yeah.
I find it very difficult to keep a straight face with this feather boa.
I'm sure. Do you want to keep trying, or do you want to take it off? No. I want you to be happy.
Not keep a straight face.
No, but what you're saying, Susan, there about it's again, it's for all people, and that's one of the things why I shifted my screenings to call them everybody friendly screenings, because it's like, yeah, this is for everybody.
Yeah.
And one of the shifts that's happened for me since lockdown is I'm teaching laughter yoga to everybody, to all people. Whereas my work before was a lot more for people who you might put in different categories, or like the vulnerable or unwell. And now I'm teaching it to anybody who's open to showing up.
Nice. I think she said earlier that she's 72. And she works part-time with a much younger friend with a design studio.
Works where?
Works part-time with a much younger friend with a design studio.
Wow, awesome. Nice. Brilliant. Yeah. Nice. Love it.
So shall we move to the dressing up rooms and put some different hats on, as we are women of many different hats?
Well, we could try it. Yeah. This is a room I don't show it very often, but
okay. So we're privileged.
I've not prepared the room for you. So
no, I mean,
So what you see first of all is this is what you normally get when I'm running my laughter yoga class. So it's very, very neat and tidy here. So in here, let's have a look at one of my boxes. This is my Giggle Doctor box.
Okay.
The all of my things, random things that make noises and squeak in there. This is something that I greatly love. There's a whole load of drawers here. What's in here is my balloon twisting kit. So you got, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 9 drawers filled with all of these different balloons. So I could make a balloon for you in a moment if you like.
Please.
Let's just show you what else we've got behind here. This is behind the scenes. So this is my some of my wardrobe. So there's my notes for teaching laughter yoga there. So what have I got here? This is a joyful one. This is lovely.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Love sequins.
Doesn't have enough of a chance to get out, that one. This is I did one of the films with Marilyn Monroe, and we gave these to the audience. Got everybody to dress up as Marilyn Monroe. So that's rather nice. And actually, in the box directly underneath is, hang on, I have to just tip you up a bit for a moment.
Okay.
I've got some lion costumes. So we gave those to everybody to wrap them around. So it's Marilyn Monroe as a lion. What else have we got in here? Well, I've got a lot. I've got all my wigs that I was wearing. Oh, hang on. I'm going to plug myself back in.
Yeah, I forgot to plug myself in one day when I was doing one of these conversations.
So I've got, here's my Sandy from Greece wig there.
Should we put wigs on?
Yeah, have you got a wig?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
It's a bit wrecked. My grandchildren have wrecked it, unfortunately.
Whoa, that is nice.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Oh, you're like
It was better before it was wrecked.
You're like what's her name from Greece? Beautiful dropout. La 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 la. Beautiful dropout. Yeah. Oh, this, you'll like this one. This is my my mermaid costume. Have you got a mermaid costume? You strike me as someone who would have one.
I have, actually.
Yeah.
Shall I get it?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Well, yeah, I made this. Yeah.
Oh, it's very nice.
It's just a lot of sparkles. Well, anyway, well, like what look, we could get distracted by all of these costumes. Do you want to talk about something profound? Or do you want to just
I've had enough of being profound. I don't know.
Do you want to do a little bit of laughter? Should I do a couple of more formal laughter exercises?
Yeah, let's. And Yolanda is doing a lot of work, and she's just commented about intergenerational relationships. Yolanda's doing a lot of work with intergenerational work in the community. Yeah,
so useful. What's the TV program that kind of brought that to light for everybody? Care home for 4-year-olds, or old people's home for 4-year-olds, where there's something wonderful about that, because it's no longer, it's not a patronizing activity anymore. It's like we're doing it for the kids, and we're still stretching up and still doing the thing. It's just gorgeous. The kids they've no idea what a gift they are, have they?
No, they're wonderful.
No,
love them.
So let's do a couple of, all right, here. So this is a favorite laughter yoga exercise of mine, because it involves you taking a deep breath in and making a sound, and then laughter has to come. So what you have to do is raise your arm like this, take a deep breath in, smell the odor of what's under your arm, have a reaction, and have a good old laugh about how stinky it is. So I'll show you how it looks. So it goes like this. Oh! Oh! So are you ready to join me?
Ready? Okay.
Arm up. And then we'll do both arms. Here we go. So deep breath in.
Oh!
Other arm, here we go.
Oh!
Oh, you're good at that. Oh dear.
My face was that expressive.
Well, don't you think so?
I never knew it was.
Oh, didn't you? No. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, I watched myself back on the video of doing this, and I was like, oh my goodness, my face. Yeah, it's a lovely thing when you laugh. You're not thinking, oh, am I attractive? Am I, And this is a thing. Like when I was creating a vision board earlier on this year, I was looking for photographs of people laughing. Even though I didn't know that what I wanted in my life was people laughing, and that I was about to become a laughter yoga teacher.
No.
Which, bonkers. But while I was flicking through magazines, and there were so few photographs of people laughing with gay abandon, like they don't care how they look. There was some laughter where they're like, and you're like, no, I want it like, I don't care right now.
Yes.
And yes, that's one of the things that feels so important to let our
Yes. Yes, and there's a couple of things there. Firstly, that laughter makes us more beautiful because it makes our eyes shine
yeah.
and it makes us relax, and it's really good for our facial muscles.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that will we be less self-conscious after this?
I don't know. I think some people will. I think there's no same thing for everybody, is there?
No,
I
no,
think
there can't be.
I think some of us will have gone more into ourselves, and I don't know about you. I've had conversation with some people who absolutely love the lockdown. A lot of their anxiety that they used to experience from having to be out in the world
Yes,
is gone, and so
yeah,
here they are, like, oh wow, I'm just in my home. I don't
yeah,
have to go anywhere.
yeah.
It's nicer, and so um, I wonder if some of us, I think maybe also for me, I might be more just into myself and not out there. I don't know.
I've been looking back at footage of stuff I did last summer and
Yeah.
thinking, I would be a lot braver now. I would dive straight off that boat, for
Yeah.
example.
Wow. That
Not
is
give
good.
up.
Well, is that anything, you pointed it out to it in my Pachachka video where I was speaking about the monks that say memento mori.
Yes.
Um and I
Remember, death is coming.
Yeah, it sounds so bleak, doesn't it?
But
To
it's
greet each other
true.
and say, "Remember, death is coming." But if we would greet each other saying, "Remember, death is coming," then wow, what opportunities rise up for us to say, "So while I can, I'm gonna live. I'm just gonna really live. I'm gonna dive off that boat. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say hello to that person.
yeah,
I'm going to say, excuse me, I think you're absolutely beautiful. I have
yeah,
no agenda beyond saying that, but
yeah,
I can't stop myself from saying, I just think you're beautiful or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because I thought I was like that before the lockdown, but looking back, I'm still quite reserved and quite hesitant
Mm.
to really, yeah, jump off that boat into the sea.
Yeah, but I guess maybe that we've had times to sort of look at how we approach things, because one of the things like that for me is I've been I've had to do I've done quite a few radio, and I haven't had to do anything.
Yes.
Obviously, I've chosen to do. They forced me. You go on the radio now.
Awful.
Um, no, because my street has started to play music,
Oh,
and
yes, your street band.
my street, yeah, it just sort of emerged that some people on my street are really good musicians and just started to play every Thursday night after the clap for carers. And so when I shared a video on Facebook, it just, everyone went mad for the first one. And so the radio called me and they said, will you go on the radio? And I was thinking, I do love talking, but I get very, very nervous about, now here's the ridiculous thing, I get nervous about looking stupid.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
I've spent my whole life putting on costumes, looking stupid. I've created, and actually, if I look at, the personal, I've done a lot of, I'm also trained in emotional freedom technique. I don't know if you know about that, whether
Yeah.
you do matrix re-imprinting. Yeah, tapping. You look back at kind of, where did this first come from?
Yeah.
And one of the things I recognized was a moment when I was in a nativity play and I was the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher said to me, now, Suzy, remember, big loud voice. So I went on as the innkeeper and I said, sorry, no room. And the audience just laughed. They laughed and laughed and laughed about it. And it was a trauma for me.
Yeah.
I was being laughed at. I did
Yes.
something and the audience laughed and I didn't like it.
Yes.
And actually what came from that is, in that moment, I think I said, okay, no. I will decide when you laugh. When
Yeah.
you think I am stupid, I will say, aha, you are laughing. You think I'm stupid, but I knew that I was going to be stupid, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's a big controlling part of me that has built a life around making sure I don't look stupid
yeah. I
by saying I
so
am.
relate to that.
Can you?
Yeah, because as children we so easily take on shame, which
Mm,
isn't ours.
yeah.
And Sandra just said about shame and vulnerability. So we're reading Brene Brown's book,
Ah,
Rising Strong, at the moment,
mm,
and she's done so much work around shame. And yeah, I absolutely can relate to that. And we take things on and we make them our own, and we hold on to that, and we sort of nurture it, and it becomes part of us.
mm,
And the fear of feeling that way again
mm.
makes us behave in all sorts of ways which don't necessarily work for us today.
No. And that's what I think, that's what I'm saying about like going on the radio. Like my comfort zone is here. I've got a script. I know how it's going to go.
Yeah,
And when I go on the radio, it's out of my control. They're going to ask me
yeah,
questions. I'm not going to know what the answer that I'm supposed to give is. I don't know how long I've got. And
yeah,
so that's massively, um, yeah, it's expanded something for me
yeah,
and been difficult, but I'm getting better at it, which has meant that when you say to me, can I can't really come and talk to me, I go, but I don't know what you're going to ask me. And I'm talking about, you know, something I know really well
yeah,
about, it's me. But even then I'm thinking, what if I say something stupid? What if I get it wrong?
yeah, absolutely. I'm like that the whole time that I'm doing these. And it's that thing about going outside your comfort zone, isn't it?
Mm.
And I would be that person who would always share that meme. Outside your comfort zone, that's where the magic happens. But
Ah,
when it comes to actually getting outside of my comfort zone, man,
yeah,
you know, yeah, because I have so many strange ideas about this should be this way and that should be that way, and I should conform to this to be acceptable. And yeah,
yeah, yeah. You know, a little bit earlier we were talking about my tax return journey.
yes,
Yeah, I was just going to say a little bit about that because that was a thing out of my comfort zone. I think I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to move to my office
yes,
here for a moment.
woodland,
It's my floor of ridiculousness things. Here we go. I'll just show you this. I'll move back in, step back into the light.
mm-hmm.
Here we go. So this is Suzy's tax return journey. And the reason this came about, now keep me on track why I'm talking about this. I'm talking about
Getting out of your comfort zone.
stepping out of comfort zone, and yeah. So this is a bit about sharing vulnerably of myself, which
Yeah,
I never done before. Because I think on social media we present so much of a my life is great kind of thing, and I wanted to be like, it's taken me a long time to be able to share honestly.
mm-hmm.
And I realized that authenticity is really big part of what I want to do, and why I share anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it would confuse people because they say, but you do things about joy and about laughter. But I'm always wanting to say, but there's a shadow always there. And if anyone says, no, I don't have a shadow, I'm just very happy, I just think, let's have a little chat about that.
Because it's that balance of dark and light. It's
Absolutely.
impossible to be joyful and having fun all the time. It wouldn't be sustainable.
No, exactly. Yeah. So this tax return journey, I'll just show you a little bit what it looks like, because in case this helps anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So what this was 2 years ago. Something difficult happened in my world, and it was like the bottom just fell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to be on the 5th of April, which was the last day of the tax year.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up on the 6th of April and thinking two things. Number one, this year I want to be more organized with organizing my receipts.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, I need to convince myself that life is good, because I'm not convinced of it right now.
Yes.
So I already had some of these processes in place, but this was where it sort of formally began. So what you've got here is a gratitude list that I write at the end of every single day. So
Beautiful.
I write the things that were good about the day, every single thing. So on a less good day, it will be the sun shone, and somebody smiled at me. It's not always something really big. And I remember showing this to a friend, and they were saying, "You've written here, I had a nice chat with a man about sponges." Yes, I did have a nice chat with a man about sponges, which would seemingly be nothing, but actually that was important. It was a good moment. So it's registering every little specific. The water ran out of the tap today. There is always something to focus on. And then also each day, as a way to make me stay on top of it, each day it's got the receipts. And I stick in every single receipt, whether it's relevant or not. Because then when it comes to me logging the information, I've got a diary of where I went, where I spent my money, and also because interactions with people in shops is very important to me. I love random communications. I can even see like what was the name of the cashier on the receipt. And so
nice.
Yeah, so when
that.
Yeah, it just came from nowhere. It came out of necessity, which is often where creativity comes from, isn't it? Where it's like, I got to do something fast. It's awful, and it needs to be not awful.
Yes. I've never considered that the cashier's name is on the receipt.
I know, it's so sweet.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. And not because often I've got in my thing, that the person that served me a tea was lovely, and then I can look back and say, oh, their name was
nice.
So when I did my logging of my receipts, I still did it in January because that's a bit what I'm like. What was amazing was when I looked through, there was absolutely no evidence at all that I'd been having a difficult time. And it wasn't, because we can remember those things. They're very easy to remember, difficult things, aren't they? But there was nothing written about it. And I was thinking, wow, look how many great things happened in that month. If I hadn't taken the time to really register them,
that's beautiful.
I wouldn't know them. So the thing one of the things that's really important to me, like to get me to do things, is accountability. So I set up this page on Facebook, Suzy's Tax Return Journey. I said, okay, for anyone who cares, maybe no one, maybe me, I'm going to every day do this, and I'm going to write about the best moment of the day, and I'm going to take a picture of me with someone. And it became this positivity blog where I was with somebody and being able to like really declare how wonderful that person was and declare my love for them. And I think my writing got more honest and more real because of that, and I had to really tap in, what was it that made that really good? Like, what, it was good, but why was it? I felt which of the 10 positive emotions, which is something to look up, great. Was it joy? Was it awe? Was it amusement? Which was it? Serenity? Like, which of those great feelings did I feel? And
I haven't come across the 10 positive emotions before, amazingly.
Barbara Fredrickson, maybe.
I'll look that up.
Look it up. Yeah, they're really nice to sort of pull apart, like which are the things that are great. So anyway, the point of that is it honed my craft in being able to say life's great alongside it being really difficult.
Yes.
And I think that's why I wanted to talk to you about that. I can't remember now. I got so excited.
It was about getting outside your comfort zone, and that actually is where the magic happens.
And taking a picture of myself every day.
Oh.
Because do you remember a few years ago when there was a no makeup selfie thing that went on Facebook, and I was thinking, do not nominate me. Don't nominate me. I'm not willing to do it. And then from this place of I'm doing it, no one cares, I'll just get on and do it, I became more comfortable with loving my own image.
Yes.
So that was another shift,
Yes.
making myself more visible. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so difficult being visible.
Yeah, it is. It's so vulnerable. We make ourselves so vulnerable when we're visible. And
Mm.
like you said, that was your first experience of being trolled. And it's like the more we put ourselves out there, the more we put ourselves in the line of criticism and ridicule. And it's like, do I want to live small so
Mm.
that nobody's got anything to say? Or do I just want to put myself out there and be who I am and accept that people are going to have their opinions? If it's not me, it's going to be someone else.
But that's how have you arrived at that? Because that's big, isn't it?
Um, I have uh, gone from being someone who was just at home in a marriage with my children and running businesses to being someone who my children have grown up now. Uh, I live alone. I've started doing trapeze classes,
Yeah.
can dancer. I'm on crew at festivals. I perform at festivals, doing walkabout and can. Uh, yeah, just take. When my friend asked me 4 years ago if I would like to join her can troupe, I felt like I'm too old, I'm too fat, I can't dance well enough, I don't look right for that.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
those four, that could be any four things. I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not enough of this, and I'm not enough of that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if I'm rubbish, then she won't invite me to perform because she's a good dancer. So I
Yeah.
thought I'll just go along, and it's just become a really important part of my life, and we've become really great friends, and we spend time together. And the most precious time we spend is getting ready before we perform. You know about that, and we do that in a group,
Oh.
and coming up with different themes and costumes and varying our performance and actually making people laugh and dance and clap and jump around at midnight at a festival. Wow, what an experience.
So you got so it's like you got one kind of hit of it feeling good, and then you went back for more.
I risked not listening to my inner critic,
Wow.
and I risked believing that if I got invited to do something, it meant I was good enough.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's great.
Mm.
I think it's not something that you battle with it and then it's sorted forever.
No,
Comes constantly, like every single so I do a warm-up exercise before I do anything that looks like work for me, and it's a qigong exercise, which is it's a physical I'll just show it's just like an arm swing, right? I just swing my arm backwards, and then so first of all I'm focusing on the backwards,
mm-hmm.
where I say all of the things that I don't need right now that aren't going to be helpful for me doing this. So I say I'm a fraud, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm too tired, I'm too rubbish, I'm too ugly, or all these things. Don't need that, don't need that.
Crazy thoughts, all of
Yeah,
those crazy thoughts.
because they're there. I hear you, they're gone, and then I bring my and then I shift my focus onto the upswing, and I'm breathing in, and I'm bringing in what it would be helpful for me right now. Good listening, good present confidence, belief in myself. What would be helpful for me right now to feel grounded, to feel centered, to feel calm, and then to really, really. And it's
No,
so helpful for me every single time.
nice.
It's still present that I need to do that.
I like the combination of movement and affirmation, but I also like the voicing the insane negativity that we all live with
Yeah,
that stops us doing so many things that we'd love to do.
yeah. I did that warm up with a group yeah a few weeks ago. I said, oh, I just like to do this warm up, and they said, oh, can we do it with you? And I was saying like, oh, naming all these things, I'm a fraud, I don't know what I'm talking about, and they all laughed like, ha, you too. And I was thinking, what, you think that but you seem to know everything.
Yes. Yes. And isn't that the amazing thing? That when we actually talk about our vulnerabilities and um, our kind of hidden insecurities, that they are so common. They're so common, and there's an assumption that if you get out there and perform and laugh and put a hat on, that you don't suffer from those insecurities, but actually it means that you just work around them, because everybody has them. Everybody.
It's about courage, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the more, I love it when I hear people share, like, yeah, even though, this is a thing with the emotional freedom technique, isn't it? Like, even though this is in the room,
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to step over this and do it anyway.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like it's work. It's tiring, but
Yeah.
it's going back to my lovely little diagram here of achievement. I didn't think I could do it. I thought no one was going to listen to me. I thought everyone was going to go, what? I did it. Now my sense of belief has gone up a bit.
And you know that the local BBC radio wouldn't invite you to speak if you didn't know what you were talking about.
They wouldn't invite me back. Like, they might invite me the first time, but
They have researchers.
Yeah. But there's a whole thing about trust, isn't there?
Yes.
Well, this has been a really interesting thing for me in lockdown about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the word boundaries was only invented about a year ago. I don't think I knew what one was. But now, like, if I ask somebody to do something, like, if I can trust fully that they will say no, then I can ask for anything. And
Yes.
same, either way, like, they can ask me and I can trust that they really did. Like, I'm going to ask you to be part of my can group, and trust that you will say no if you don't feel comfortable, and you can trust that I really do want you to be part of my can group. Like, it's the trust of, like, what is that? I mean, I don't know if that bit's about boundaries, but you can see where I'm going with the boundaries thing.
Yes. It has to be okay to ask, and it has to be okay to say no, and saying no makes it okay to ask, because then I know that I'm definitely not imposing.
Yeah, definitely. Great learning.
Oh,
it's tiring learning though, isn't it?
It's such hard work evolving as a human being.
But you're doing great.
Endless, isn't it? It's endless.
It's never over. Oh.
And then, like you say, memento mori. And sometimes I think, I'm starting to get the hang of life. I wonder if that means I'm going to die now. I actually do think that sometimes. I do. And then I think, oh, shut up, get on with the day.
But what if you did?
Yeah.
Would you be happy with the way you'd lived your life?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's really all we can do.
Yeah.
This is where, I get really serious about this, because one of the places I work is in a centre for children who have brain damage, and a lot of that, some of them were born with brain damage, but some of them have acquired it.
Yeah.
So I see really very clearly a picture of a child who was happy and playing on a horse. Something happened and their life completely changed. So it's not necessarily that life ends completely. It can be that life ends in this way.
Yes.
We never ever know when that's coming. We really don't. And this, oh, I mean, the whole thing with COVID has really brought it home to us so clearly, hasn't it?
I really feel it has. It's like, I feel like I didn't fully appreciate the freedom that I had.
Mm.
I remember at Boomtown last year, all we had to do was stand there dressed up as vintage circus performers, handing out grapes. That's all we had to do for our whole shift. And we complained about being bored to each other. Oh my God. I would swap this for that, for a 12-hour shift of that now.
It's like you want to go back and have a word with that woman and say,
Really,
now listen up, yeah? In a year's time, you're going to be locked in place. Don't be complaining about that.
yeah, just
Yeah.
give out the grapes.
Yeah. And love it.
And love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry you're not at all these festivals. I'm really getting how big they are for you.
It's strange. We're hoping that when the lockdown relaxes, maybe we can camp in each other's gardens at some point before it gets too cold. Maybe.
That sounds good. Not for
That's
me. I won't come.
That's our big plan, is that there will be a time this summer when we're allowed to go and camp in each other's gardens.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is really nice. I
We'll have a
personally won't. Well, I won't come and camp in your garden because I hate it. But I wish that for you.
I've actually got a little tiny little trailer now, like
Oh,
a baby little pod.
I love that fits within your screen right now.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's that really. It's very small.
Yeah, miniature.
Oh, so you can go on some journeys with that.
Yeah, when we're allowed to stay overnight.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice to dream, isn't it?
So, wow, what a journey we've been on.
Yeah.
Yolanda says vulnerability is a strength rather than a weakness.
Absolutely.
Quite a challenge to manifest in our daily intervention. And Sandra says her tax returns are her Achilles heel. Yeah. Page, Sandra. Suzy's tax return journey on Facebook.
Yeah, have a look. Well, not. I mean, it's like we're saying, like everybody finds their own version of it.
Yeah.
Like, it helped me to feel. Mostly, it was about happiness. It was nothing to do with the tax return.
Yeah.
But it was a structure.
I love that you put your gratitude list with your receipts, and I love that your gratitude list is so detailed.
Yeah.
Those tiny moments of joy, because we can still have them in lockdown.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The person in the supermarket queue.
You've got to look for them. Like you know, look for beauty and you see it.
Yeah. The person at the checkout. I always ask them how they are.
Yeah.
But especially now. How's your day going?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
And you have eye contact, and then you have connection, and then that creates joy, which is exactly what you're about, isn't it? Creating joy with connection.
Those conversations are a bit more real now, I find. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, always try to make them as real as possible. You know, like I'm interested in how your day's going, but I feel like people really are asking, how are you? Which is a lovely part of it.
And it's really okay for how you are to change 15 times throughout the day. And everyone understands that our feelings aren't constant.
No.
I think.
No.
And yeah, I think that's a real gift of this time. Yeah, it's like, ooh, yeah, I feel that's a real gift of this time. For humanity, that we can all have a little bit more compassion for others, because we've been in some places ourselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's so lovely to talk to you.
Yeah, it's great. It's been brilliant. And what's amazing is this is our first conversation, really.
Ever.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and what a beautiful thing that you know that we found each other because we were stuck inside and
Exactly.
looking for other you know people to connect with and people who are feeling the same things.
Yes.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Suzy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I feel really honoured to
Oh,
to be allowed to go on about the things I'm passionate about.
isn't it lovely having this time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Great.
It's
It's great you're making this space for each person to, you're just shining a light on each person.
Thank you. Thank you. Sandra says she's really enjoyed our chat.
Oh, we've loved having you with us,
Yeah,
Sandra.
it's been lovely having you all with us. So thank you very much, Suzy.
Thank you.
Have a lovely rest of the day. For anyone who wants to find you, they can go to everybodylaughtogether.com.
Yes, right.
Join your class at 9:45 in the morning on Zoom
Yes,
for
indeed.
instructions on laughter yoga.
Yeah.
Very
You,
good, very good, very good. Yay!
yay! You need to go onto the website and you click to register, and then I'll send you the Zoom link to get you there.
Yeah. And if you want to post any links in the comments on Facebook about any inspiring philosophies or books, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I'll put a reference to the perma wheel and the 10 positive emotions. That's one of
Lovely.
the talking about.
Thank you. And your group.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks,
Brilliant.
Suzy.
Thank you. You're
Thanks.
amazing.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day. Bye.
I don't know how to leave. I'm still here. Do I click? Do I say leave?